Many fantasy gamers are struggling finding out the right player to stash off their waiver wire. They want to find that breakout guy at the end of the season. Those are hard to peg, but there's always some clear indicators on these young running backs that we can look at. The running back I'm hammering home right now, and this is one of my main guys I want people to stash and I want to stash, is Rachaad White, running back from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And you may be saying to yourself, as I say that, you're saying, Bruce, he's already rostered in a lot of leagues. He's going to be hard to pick up. I just checked it. He's rostered in 46% of fantasy leagues right now. And during the waiver wire process this week, that only increased by 8%. So if people are still sleeping on him, they're not taking him as seriously as they should. And that is a disgrace right now, because there is some opportunity here, especially in all formats. Even basic redraft leagues, you're looking at a running back that could have a strong end this season. And if you're struggling holding him somewhere down the line, then you just move on and get that player that'll help you out for that short-term situation. But when you look at these high-impact rookies who just need something to flip that switch, Rachaad White is one of them. Last week, with a larger snap share than usual, we saw him catch 5 balls for 50 yards and got a goal line plunge. Let's reverse back. Look at his college stats. It is an indicator showing us what he could potentially be from his collegiate profile during the draft process. Last year, at Arizona State, he rushed for 1,000 yards and 15 touchdowns. The thing we want to look at is he caught 43 passes. He averaged 3.38 yards after contact per attempt, had 44 missed tackles. In the passing game, he averaged 2.25 yards per route run, which is very good for a running back. 10.5 yards after the catch per reception. That is an indicator showing us that once he gets the ball in his hands in space, that he is likely to get you a good chunk after that. And if you reel off a few of those plays, guess what? There's going to be more targets coming at you. And if you're a cheap target in the flats and you're getting yak, that means they're going to get some volume coming that way. And if you're averaging 10.5 yards after the catch per reception, that's pretty damn good as a receiver out of the backfield. 11.2% of his snaps was in the slot, and 5% of his snaps were lined up out wide. So about 14% of his snaps, he was lined up as a wide receiver. A large portion for a guy who rushed for 1,000 yards and 15 touchdowns. So not only you got a running back here, but this guy's also a partial wide receiver, which means PPR fantasy points. It means routes ran, which means opportunity to get you a good workload here that can be fantasy viable. And what if something happens to Leonard Fournette? What if he goes down for a considerable amount of time? He's an older running back who's currently getting touches, and more volume plus age makes you a higher risk. Of course, all running backs who are getting a large amount of touches are a risk of injury just because it's a war of attrition out there for running backs. We see it every year. We see it week to week. It just happens. It's the hurt business. So what happens if something happens to Leonard Fournette? This guy's going to step in. He's going to see targets out of the backfield. He's going to get touches. He's going to have the opportunity to produce at a fantasy level that helps us out immensely. And he's going to be an asset that increases value throughout the season. You want to be ahead of the market. The market right now is not taking him as seriously as they should. I get it. Benches might be a little shorter in some leagues. You're going to have to play around with that. But he is definitely a stash at the end of your roster to see what happens. And stashes can be valuable, especially if you're a middle-of-the-road team. You got a 500 record, say you're 2-2 right now, or you got a losing record, and you need something to get over the hump. And maybe he can help you reel off some wins at the end of the season to get you in the playoffs. Maybe not. Maybe it's not happening. Maybe it's not in the cards. Maybe you got to move out. Cheap asset to get. We know where the upside's at. Rookie running backs throughout the season is good investments because you never know if they get the opportunity and they can pop off. These are players that have not shown whether they're able to blow up or not at the NFL level. So when you invest in these rookie running backs who have some good things in their prospect profile, you want to have your ear to the ground to them. I'm not saying always roster them because you only roster so many players, but you always want to pay attention to them and strike when the iron starts to get hot. Not when it's hot because it'll be too late. Starts to get hot. That way, you're in there, you've got him on your rosters, and when he starts churning production, or if, then you're good to go. But I'm telling you right now, he's flashing some indicators right now that we could see him be productive down the road. And the running back position right now is disgusting from a fantasy football perspective. So having a rookie running back like this who could pop off later could be a wise investment. And the price you're paying is holding him on your roster for a couple of weeks to see what happens. If it doesn't work out, you dump him. But it's not going to cause you to lose any weeks. So it's a cheap investment that's not going to hurt you at all. So why not do it? But let me know what you think in the comments. Are you in the Rachaad White? Is that something you're into? He's probably even rostered in your league. But take a look again on the waiver wire to see if you can get him. Just take a quick look. See if he's there. But let me know what you're thinking down in the comments below. Smash that like button on the way out. It really helps the video and the algorithm. And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button because I'm dropping content like this left and right multiple times a day. I have a bunch of videos already stashed, ready to publish. This is going to come out before them, and I'm about to unload some content on you guys. But I want to thank you, and I'll catch you on the next video.